If you can find someone who overarches all of those things and can manage your photographer, can manage your brand strategy, can manage your logo designer, can manage your website, can manage your photography and videography, who knows a bit about digital strategy as well, you are going to get the best launch result. And here's why. Because they understand it, they're going to control the projects and ensure that you're not charged $50,000 to get your product to market. Because if you spend $50,000 before you've even gotten to market, you're going to have no capital to use to actually market and sell your product, and that is critical. So you can get by with a slightly less polished website, a slightly less deep website. We at Business 2IC help e-commerce businesses do this. And basically what we want you to do is get to market with a good enough platform to leap off. And once you're making money, you can reinvest it back. But we want you to have enough capital so that you get to that point and you can actually have money to market and sell the product. Because if you don't do that, then it's going to suck. Your launch won't go as well as it could have. Okay. So the next thing, you don't understand e-commerce, and that's not your fault. It's a really fast-moving, always changing industry, pretty much like any industry, but I feel as if it's always on steroids because it goes so quickly because of the internet. You're bringing a ton of industry experience and product development knowledge that many people are not going to understand. You have to find someone who is able to really deeply understand what you're trying to do and your people that you're trying to sell to. Because one of the other biggest mistakes that I see early stage female founders make is hiring out digital advertising or something like that without really knowing what they're doing. And so they sign on for an expensive Facebook ad consultancy. And they sign on for like expensive SEO consulting. And the thing is you don't need it. You can run Facebook ads yourself. We do coaching. We can help with that. But even if you don't want to do it with us, it's not that hard to figure out. And if you don't have time, there are freelancers. There are ways to do this on a shoestring. So not on a shoestring. Let's just say something a little more expensive than a shoestring. But essentially, you want to try and limit your amount of expenses, because something that I've discovered with Facebook ads and with digital marketing is that, yeah, there are really great people out there, but they're not always exorbitantly priced. And here's the thing about finding really great people. You're not going to know what you're hiring for. This is a problem. And I've seen this time and time again with our clients who have built incredibly successful businesses in other areas. So for example, I have a client that has a huge marketplace business selling bedding. And he doesn't know anything about digital marketing. So he has been totally burnt with Facebook advertising consultants, marketing consultants. It just sucks. And to be honest with you, you will be lucky if the same thing doesn't happen to you, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to do the job yourself. And because of that, you can't discern who knows what they're talking about and whether they're actually delivering you results. Super, 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 I can't stress this enough, important. And that's why I come back again to having a 2IC or someone, an e-commerce specialist, someone, I don't care if it's me, I don't care who you hire, but someone that knows e-commerce well enough that they can either run it for you, or they can teach you how to do it, or they can hire people for a good price that is going to help you grow the business in the initial phases. Make sense? Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to tell you about is you are going to make this mistake as well. So many mistakes. You are going to focus almost entirely on product development, and then you are going to do this launch work, get to launch day and have done no hype marketing, or in the lead up to the launch done any hype marketing, and that's not your fault. Firstly, you probably don't know how to do it. Secondly, you probably haven't done any digital marketing before. Thirdly, you're only one person, so you can only focus on so many things. And fourth, you don't have time. You don't have time. You're a busy woman. You're doing things with your life. You have a full-time job, potentially another business, right? So what do? We always recommend our clients to start pre-launch marketing about 2 to 3 months before it happens. And this is really critical because in this time you can start establishing relationships with wholesalers, organizing partnerships, collecting emails for an email list, and doing really awesome things on the back end of that to create buzz and to get people connected to what you're doing in your business. This is so important. Please don't leave your marketing until you launch. It will not launch the way you want it to launch. Cool. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is being online only. It is definitely possible to build a successful business online only, but I think it's really, really, really smart to run multiple channels against each other. And what I mean by that is having online and wholesale side by side, or retail, whatever you want to call it, side by side, running in parallel with each other. It means that you will go a little slower in the rate that you can scale each of them, but it also means that you're protected because digital is constantly changing and wholesale isn't the most reliable source of income either. So if you run them hand in hand, not only will you get the exposure of being in big retailers, but you'll also have the direct to consumer side, which will really help you with the ongoing sales, the relationship building with your customers, and also the acquisition and scaling of your business. And then finally, I'm going to say this. Be careful. It's a wild, wild west out there. And there are a lot of people who are jumping onto the digital marketing bandwagon having never built a business before. And that's not critical in running successful ads. There are a lot of people out there that only have their Facebook ads business. But I will say this, e-commerce is a totally different ball game compared to any other thing, any other business, any other type of industry. And so people that say that they can do service and e-commerce, I'm not sold on that. I think specializing is super, super important. And if you're looking at working with people, then you need to know that they know how to build an e-commerce business. And this is particularly important if you're working with a 2IC or someone like Business 2IC, where they have actually built businesses themselves and they're not just a digital marketing company. And the reason for that is this, because when you're hiring those logo designers, websites, photographers, digital strategists, what you want to do is you basically want one person to know how to do all of those things, because it can take that entire shift off your plate so that you can go and sell to wholesalers or retailers. This is what we always see with our professional women clients. They have all the in-person contacts. They can get into David Jones and Myers. They can get into all these amazing places where the product will do well, but what they don't have a good grasp on is the e-commerce. And so if you have someone by your side, whoever that may be, have someone by your side who understands how to build an e-commerce business, you will be unstoppable. It might take a bit of work, it might take a bit of money, but the relief of having someone who knows what the hell they're doing is going to make your life so much easier and make your switch from full-time employee to business owner that little bit more simple. Definitely worth the investment, definitely something that I would do myself. I'm busy running a consultancy. I'm also starting up a skincare company at the same time. And basically what I do is I hire people to work on my skincare company so that I can focus on the consultancy. That's not a new idea. But while I'm doing this, I'm working with the best of the best in the industry, and I'm finding out what's happening with that project and how it's run well by the best people, and then I bring those people into the consultancy, which means everyone that comes to us is vetted by me personally, is managed by me personally, and is also I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but they have been thoroughly tested, and I trust them enough to put them in my own business to then help my clients with their businesses. So regardless of whether you work with me or not, I just want to put this out there. If you are talking to a consultant, an e-commerce specialist about your product idea or your e-commerce business that you've already launched, I want you to feel that they have that same dedication to testing results and the people that they work with and building businesses. Because I can say for me safely that I know what it takes to build an e-commerce business because I've done it once and I'm going to do it again. And not every e-commerce specialist can say that they are as committed to finding the best team, the best people, the best processes, because they're in a marketing business, or they're in an advertising business, or they're in an optimization business, whatever business they're in. They don't have a business. It's not their business that they're willing to put their time, their money, their own investment, the risk of hiring someone and testing them in their own